Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the Closing Bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlett Fu.
All right, let's get to some of the individual gainers. That's a lot of red on that screen, but there are definitely some outperformers in a big way. So let's get to it. PepsiCo at its highs today, folks, up more than 6%, finishing the day with a gain of about 1%. A top gainer in the NASDAQ 100 at one point. Shares rising after Elliott Investment Management confirmed it took a $4 billion stake in the company, making it one of the largest investors in PepsiCo. Elliott outlining its plans for the company, including potentially restructuring its beverage unit, reviewing its snack offerings. Company has really struggled in the face of competitive pressures and really changing consumer taste, if you will. So we'll see. We're keeping an eye on that, but investors are hopeful about some of the changes to come. Want to get to a name that was actually among the biggest gainers on both the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500. We're talking about Biogen. Ticker is BIIB, stock up 5.6% in today's session. And this had to do with the drug maker winning FDA approval for its self-injected form of its Alzheimer's therapy, and analysts see that approval aiding the launch of the drug by improving convenience for patients. So that was definitely some outperformance there. And then Frontier Group up 23% at its highs intraday, finishing with a gain of about 14%. Deutsche Bank coming out, raising the recommendation on the company to buy from hold, saying the firm is best positioned to benefit from rival Spirit's bankruptcy. You might remember last week, Bloomberg out reporting on how Spirit had engaged Frontier in high-level talks about the carrier's ongoing efforts to chart a path forward less than 6 months after emerging from bankruptcy. So Frontier definitely, Tim, an outperformer in today's session.
Okay, well, let's look at some underperformance today. I want to start with Nvidia. Down about 6% over the last 4 days, down 2% today. The company's earnings showed restrictions on sales to China eating into revenue and uncertainty about when those sales could resume. That was to the tune of about $4 billion. Now, despite the recent drop, the stock is still up about 80% off that April low. Analysts see upside of more than 25% from current levels, with growth trends keeping valuation in check. We should note the whole chip sector under pressure today. Reminder, we learned early today that regarding TSMC, the U.S. has revoked TSMC's authorization to freely ship essential gear to its main Chinese chip-making base, potentially curtailing its production capabilities. Also, Kraft Heinz, speaking of like what's old is new again, the company plans to split into two separate companies, one selling Heinz ketchup, the other iconic condiments, and the other including slower growing grocery products. So the Oscar Mayer hot dogs go in one, and ketchup and other iconic condiments go in the other. The goal of the split is to give the company's top performing sauces and spreads more room to run while siphoning off lagging grocery staples in a new entity expected to generate reliable cash flow. Shares today down by about 7%. And finally, Constellation Brands falling 6.6% today. This after the company cut its fiscal year 2026 guidance and cited weak consumer demand, which will hurt inventory rebalancing at this distributor level. I guess, Katie, people aren't drinking like they used to.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.